Thanks for staying with us. The Chinese community here in Gauteng says it's been receiving the biggest backlash as a result of the coronavirus outbreak. Anecdotal stories abound, indicating that Chinese restaurants and businesses are struggling as people are avoiding using their services because of a misguided stereotype about COVID-19. Let's get some more now on this from the South African Chinese Association in Gauteng's chairperson, Owen Pon, who joins us via Skype. Owen, thank you so much for joining us. And now, in as much as we've obviously been covering very closely the cases of COVID-19 that has been really spiking over the last few weeks, the Chinese community has been bearing the brunt in various ways for some time now. Tell us what the situation is, some of the stories that you're hearing from the Chinese Association members and your community members of a reaction from people to their businesses and their presence in their various suburbs.
Yes, correct. I mean, as you mentioned, COVID-19, the coronavirus, really started a few months ago. And already then it started in China, and from then our shops and our community was affected. People stopped going to our shops, stopped going to our restaurants, and our community really felt the backlash. I mean, during that time, kids would go to school and would find that, they'd be called names, they'd be teased, that said that, it's a Chinese virus. My parents are, we're not going to play with you, those type of things. Saying that Chinese kids eat dogs and cats. Chinese people eat dogs and cats, so that's why you have the coronavirus. So it was really very emotional type things happening to our kids as well. We saw a lot of online backlash as well. People spewing hatred towards the Chinese community, saying that because of the Chinese people deserve it, we wish all these Chinese people die, etc. And this is not only here in South Africa, but all across the world. The Chinese communities are feeling it, so we felt it early on as well. And we really felt that it was unfair because, I mean, a lot of the Chinese people here in South Africa anyway have been here for many generations. A lot of us are born here. Some of our kids have never even been to China. And really just stigmatizing people because of this, discriminating against them, was very unfair. Back home here, we saw communities, people talking about events where they walk through shopping centers, and people that walked past them in the shopping center would cover their mouth as they went past the Chinese people. We've seen it also at different things. People going to petrol stations, and the petrol stations say, "Oh, coronavirus," and not willing to serve the Chinese person. We saw a video incident at Venda University, where a Chinese student was walking past, and they filmed it, and they kept calling him "Corona, Corona, Corona." So we've seen a lot of that, but the community's been speaking out. We've had Dion Chang, we've had various celebrities that been speaking out and talking about the feelings of how they've experienced this.
How much of a lack of education around the coronavirus is this about? You're talking about these incidents starting quite a few weeks ago. Is there hope that in the last week, as we've seen more and more South Africans really getting to grips with what they're dealing with here and being better educated with more information out there, is there a hope that that will help improve matters in that regard?
Absolutely. I think it's already happening. I mean, I was talking about the past. I mean, we've still seen some, but fortunately, it definitely has improved. We've seen communities reach out. So the Jewish Board of Deputies, for example, the Ahmed Qatar Foundation, they've all reached out to our community, and they've really assisted us and really helped fight against this stigmatizing of the Chinese community, and really saying, guys, this isn't right. This is we live for a better South Africa. So we've seen a lot of people come out in the community that's really supported us, and that we must be really, really thankful to all of them. So it is definitely changing. We see that the people the students that came back from China, from Wuhan, that are in isolation. We saw the changing of attitudes in the people in that area. First, they were unaware and they were unsure unsure and they were very against it. And now that they've realized it, they've got back in touch with their humanity. And that's all we can wish. We can wish that the community out there just, number one, just realizes that the effect that they have. We wish that the parents realize that they don't talk badly around the table, because it affects the children. And children take it to the playground. So we just wish that people will just treat each other with compassion. But we are seeing that most definitely is changing.
Owen Pon, we can only wish you and your community everything of the best. He's the chairperson of the Chinese Association here in Gauteng. Thank you so much for your time here this morning. And